Hello, welcome and good evening to this Christmas edition of Let's Code MS-DOS. We take a very short break from completing our game, which will take a couple of episodes anyway. And I present you this piece of software here. When I started coding back in the early 90s, I started off with GWBasic on DOS 3.3, I think. Then we moved over to MS-DOS 5.0 with QBasic. Those were both basic interpreters. But as a kid, I was always eager to do software more professionally, like the big people. And that meant making exe files, so executables, not stupid basic programs that are slow, etc. So I read that Microsoft also made a thing called QuickBasic, but I never could get my hands on those pieces of software. And there was something else. Borland did a program called TurboBasic. And of course, I also knew about Turbo Pascal and Turbo C, but back then I was still too little, too small to actually teach myself Pascal and C. Because you also had to have the books, and the original software would be much too expensive. So I had to rely on, well, pirated copies of the software. But at some point, I got hold of TurboBasic, and very shortly thereafter got hold of PowerBasic. And this one here, so PowerBasic was, I think, very popular in Germany, and not sure about other countries. In Germany, I think it was published by Kirschbaum Software, but it was originally developed by Bob Zale, and as it says here in German, he did TurboBasic for Borland and later extended it and enhanced it so it would become PowerBasic. And that's an actual basic compiler, so it produces exe files. You can have standalone programs. This here's the basic version, Basisversion. I had one that was bundled with a book, with a programming guide for PowerBasic. It included also the Power Tools, which gave you menu system, like basically it was like TurboVision windows, text mode windows, and mouse support and everything, similar to what Borland had for Turbo Pascal and Turbo C++. But of course it was a bit simpler to program, it being basic. And PowerBasic is actually pretty powerful, and we'll see what we can do with it. So this is still shrink wrapped, but I don't want to store it for the ages, but I actually want to relive my nostalgia, what I had as a kid. I'm gonna quickly open this package here and we will have a look what's inside. So this is like a cheap version, right? It's just a very thin manual. There's a double density 3.5 inch disc, which has never been used, so it looks very pristine. Let's hope it still works. I've got my USB floppy drive here, so we can use it on DOSBox on the Mac. And there is a German introduction. There is, well, okay, let's see what it says here. So this was bundled actually with a computer, with a high screen computer made by the company called Phobis, which is incidentally from the same town where I'm currently living. Yeah. And this is the Basisversion. I'm not sure, maybe it's only, it can't produce exe programs, I'm not sure. But we will see, we can code anyway. There's a debugger in there, it says. And you can buy the full version for cheap, because the recommended price for PowerBasic full version is 285 Deutschmarks. That's roughly 140 euros. but you can upgrade from the basic version for only 98 Deutschmarks, so that's like 50 euros. Well, that's a good deal. Yeah, with the order form here. Okay, that's very nice, but I guess we won't be able to get this. There's like a reference of all the commands that you can use. It's very nice. Graphics is possible. Music, that's nice. Play some notes, beep, etc. Yeah, we can probably do something Christmassy with this. Let's try that. Okay, I think that's enough of that. Let's see if we can revive this disk. Okay, so the Mac didn't work out. I think the USB drive doesn't work quite well. I mean, it did make some sounds, but let's go back here to my trusty 386. I just plugged in a real 3.5-inch Alps floppy drive. And as you can see, yeah, there's something on the disk. It works. Seems to be that the disk is from early 1991. So it seems. Let's run the installation program. Oh, so it looks like. PBRT install. Never used that. Okay, so there's a bunch of text in German. But it seems this is only for setting up some defaults. But not really for installation on hard disk. So let's maybe copy everything via Xcopy to the hard disk. Yeah, let's take a look. So there was a bunch of files and one subdirectory. So let's go to C, the hard disk, make a new directory called PBasic, because 8 characters and such, and then switch to that directory and simply do an Xcopy of all the files on drive A, including subdirectories. That's the /S. And then let's wait a few seconds. Okay, that's that. And let's run PBRT, and this seems to be the version that's actually supplied here. And there's a few example basic files. Okay, looks good. It's working. We successfully loaded PowerBasic runtime compiler. So that's what the name is. And let's load something. So the example programs are in German, but we can figure it out. So in Basic, you use the single quote for doing comments. And what does it do? Okay, so it defines any variables from A to Z as integers per default. Then randomize timer. Okay, we use the timer to initialize the random thingy. And there's a graphics buffer of size 1000. And screen 1 should be CGA, I guess. Let's go to the help. Everything's in German. Screen... yeah, here. The command screen. Screen 1 is 320 by 200 CGA. Yeah, that's that. And it also supports VGA up to 640 by 480, but not mode 13. I think PowerBasic, the real PowerBasic supported mode 13. We can try that because we like mode 13, right? Otherwise we will do CGA as well. Yeah, let's just run this thing. Let's compile. And I think destination exe files are not available in PBRT. Please upgrade to PowerBasic full version. And that's clever. But we can run. And then we have a bouncing ball. And it even beeps. Okay, that's cute. So, well, it does work. Escape quits, I think. Yes, it does. That's pretty nice. So we have graphics thingies, graphics commands like circle and paint. Let's do a program of our own. Let's see if we can do screen 13 and run that. Illegal function call. Okay, it doesn't support that, but screen 12 is supported. So we can do high resolution, but we probably, do we want that? I think EGA is good enough. So let's do screen 7. And let's do a circle. So circle takes an X and Y coordinate and a radius and a color. So maybe we do something like this for E equals 0 to 15. We draw a circle. I hope the keyboard isn't too loud. It's my clickety-click IBM Model M. So we do a circle, center will be 160, 100. And I need to do this in, English keyboard layout. In this manner. Then we take a radius. That should be I plus 5 or something. Yeah, let's do it like that. And color I. Next I. So this should do something nice. Yeah, here we have a rainbow of circles. That looks cool, doesn't it? Okay, what else can we do? Can we animate anything? We probably can. Let's do some snow. Shall we do some snow? How do we do that? Let's say we have an array. Oh, it's so long ago. Snow X and so basically we need to keep track of where our snowflakes are, right? And we will have, how many snowflakes will we have? 50 snowflakes. How does dim work? Dim variable. Okay. Ist ein Typ durch den Namen gefallen? Okay, I have to translate on the fly. So we have to. Does this actually work? Yes, it does. And the commands are exactly like Turbo C, so we don't have to learn any new shortcuts. All right. No, I want to save this as snow class. So my hope would be that we have two arrays with the X and Y coordinates of the snow, and we will increment that more or less. So we already learned that we can write randomized timer. And then we will initialize everything for I equals 0 to 49. How do I actually snow X of I? Oops. What's the random? No, is it rund or something? Let's see. Okay, it's not rund. It is randomize. Functions. Let's see. We have a function that does that. I hope. R&D. R&D. That's it. Okay. So it gives us something between 0 and 1. So if we do R&D and then times 320, we get a coordinate, right? And we also do the same for the y coordinate. And that should initialize everything. We can already plot this. Plotting was done with plot, I think. Not sure. No, it was something different. Command circle pset. Maybe pset. Yes, that's it. Pset. Pset snow x of I, snow y of I, and then some color, and the color will be 15 because that's white. Let's run it. Subscript out of range. Okay. Why is it out of range? Because we have to say option base 0 or something like that. Option base 0, yes. Because basic usually has the first index 1 for array, but I don't like that. Subscript of range. Let's debug that. Can we debug that? Let's try to debug here. Break, toggle breakpoint, F9. So, and add a watch. I is 0, and then we can step. How do we step? F8, okay. Hello? And it locked up. That's not funny. So there seems to be a bit of a problem there. So let's quickly reboot. And here we are again. So debugging seems to be not a good idea. But I managed to fix the problem. So what I forgot was to write the % sign here, because then PowerBasic will think this is a different variable, which is float. And I have to call the int function to cast the whole thing into an integer. And then I can actually plot the pixel. And when I do that, we get snow. Isn't that nice? Anyhow, we should now try to animate that snow. The most simple thing would be just to let it dribble down and do nothing. So what we will do here is how do we do key presses? We need to have something like as long as you didn't press any key. We can look that up. The ball program should have something like that. So it's do loop until instat. So instat seems to be input status. Okay, we can do that. So no while loop, we do loop until instat, and then we end. Very nice, fair enough. We can also do something like screen 0, I think. Yeah, that's text mode. To go back, and that should work. Press a key, return to text mode. And press another key to return to PowerBasic. Yeah, that's okay. So what are we gonna do here? Here we are again doing a for loop for e equals 0 to 49. We'll do snow y of I will be... Oh, do we have something like increment? No, we don't. Do we? Yes, we do. Incre. Yes, that's good, that's good. Let's do that. And don't do the same mistake again. So we'll increment the y coordinate. And if snow y % of I greater than or equal to 200, then, how does if work here? If, then, and if. Okay, fair enough. Then we will pick a new one, a new value. So we draw a new value. And if, was it like this? No, it was like this. And then, after that, we can draw the pixel and see what it looks like. Ah, okay, we have something like weird rain. And we are drawing x coordinates. We should be drawing x coordinates, yes. And we should reset the y coordinate. Snow y percent, yeah, here. Now come on, hitting the wrong keys all the time. Plus, we should be deleting the old snowflake. Right here, by drawing black. Yeah, now we get something, but this is of course wrong because we're drawing only from the first 200 values, and this should actually be 320. Good, so now we have snow falling down, but it doesn't land anywhere and it destroys our circle. What if we would do the following? What if we were to first test before incrementing? So let's see. We have p set, so we probably also have some similar for getting a pixel. P get probably, or maybe something else. Not sure. We have pen, we have... Where was it? P set. Get? What is get? Oh, get is for reading files. That's no... Let's have a look at the... We have the command reference manual here. There was something in the booklet about graphics. So we have get is actually possible to read a whole array of pixels. P set. So we have circle, we have color, we have draw, we have get, We have line, but get does only not a single pixel. That's probably pretty bad. We have pen. We have point. Point. We want point. That's a stupid name. So let's check here for the point function. Here it is. So point returns the color of something. So let's call it color point. Oh yeah, that's probably not a good idea. We have to do this. Better. We have to move this up. And this goes down. And now, if the color is equal to 0, then we actually delete. No, this is not good. We want to see if the color of the next pixel is 0. If so, then we delete, increment, create new snow. Yeah, that's fine. And set the new thing. Else, we just leave it as it is and simply create a new snowflake, I would say, and draw that. Come on. What about that? Yeah, no, look at this. This is nice. Now we have animated snow and everything is falling down there as expected. That's lovely. I like it. Now, how about some music as well, maybe? So, I figured out how to do the music. A quick Google gave me this long string, which I wouldn't code myself in such a short time. So playing music is basically done with the play command. It will output whatever is in this string onto the PC speaker, and there's a special syntax for that. The syntax is of course documented here in German, but it's standard for all the basic variants since Microsoft GW Basic. And most important is the first two letters. MB means music in background, then T200 means tempo is 200. This is, I think, the note length, I think. Let's check. So L is, yeah, okay. So quarter note is L4, L16 will be 16th, etc., etc. So next one here says one quarter note, octave 2, and normal tempo, and then it's 2 E's followed by half a note, again E. So yeah, it's Jingle Bells, alright. And we have to increase the sound buffer because we have such a long song. So this allocates 4 kilobytes for the sound buffer, and when you do play, it will play in the background, which is nice, and we can still draw everything that's on screen. And it will repeat. We can query with the play function the number of notes left in the buffer, and if there's only one note left, I'm gonna restart playing. Let's take a look, shall we? And just like that, we have a very nice little greeting card. Let's break here and maybe do one last thing. Print some nice seasons greetings. And that should be done with the print command, I guess. but there might be some graphics command for doing that. Let's have a look. So this was more difficult than I imagined, because there are no functions for setting the cursor for the text. So what I did here was switch the color for printing to purple. No, this is not purple, this is turquoise, I think. Then print 16 blank lines, so we end up on the 17th line of the screen, and we print with a lot of spaces. And that's what we will get. We have our greeting card now with the funny circles, snow, music, and everything basically. And yeah, it's a very nice program, this PowerBasic thing. Of course, if you are watching my other videos about coding with MS-DOS, I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing it in PowerBasic, but rather something like Turbo-C, because, well, it's much faster. Even though this is a basic compiler, BASIC is still a pretty slow language. And you can do a lot of stuff with PowerBasic, and I did back in the day, so I learned a lot. So for nostalgia's sake, I would say, yeah, have a look. But for broadening your programming skills, it's probably not the best language. Something more modern is probably better. And but other than that, I really liked this trip down memory lane. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it too. I hope you learned something again. I hope you hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to toss a coin, I also have a Patreon and a Ko-Fi account, so feel free to do that. If not, doesn't matter. Anyway, I hope to see you soon, and otherwise, very Merry Christmas to everyone.